If you could tell us your name, when and where you were born, and what happened to you, and start with some of the things that happened to you, or what your life was like before the war.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was born in Poland, in Ksawerów. Then I was living there for a few years. Then I moved to Krakow. In Krakow I was working in a canned goods factory, canning. And then in 1939 the Germans arrived to Poland and they occupied Krakow. And the second day they took people to the Zwangsarbeit, that's forcing work. So I was working, cleaning buildings. After the people left the buildings, they ran away. They cleaned out the furniture and everything was taken out.
How old were you at this time?
This time I was 22 years old. And I was working for a few months doing this job. And later on I was transferred to a kitchen, an army kitchen. And I was working in the kitchen for maybe 2 years. And then they started the ghetto. They took all people to the ghetto. The ghetto was started in 1942, but it wasn't lasting too long. They transferred people to the concentration camps.
Okay. Was your whole family in the concentration, I mean, in the ghetto with you?
Yes.
Okay. And who was in your family? How many children?
My father was there, and my younger sister, and a brother. The rest family were in other cities.
They were all older?
They were older than I am.
Okay. And before the war, what was your life like in Krakow before the Germans came?
Well, it was not too bad. I had a happy life. Working, I was happy, and I was with my family.
What did your father do?
My father was a peddler. Then we had, before I came to Krakow, we had a grocery, and we was in the grocery helping out. My father was a peddler.
And your brothers and sisters' names, and what did they...
Well, my older sister was Sarah. My younger sister was Ziesel, Sophie can be. And then my third sister was Handel. And my brothers was David. One brother, my next brother was Gershon, so George.
Right, so 1939,
yes,
the Germans came,
yes.
And your family, your brother...
Split, my family split. One brother was with me in Krakow Plaza. We was transferred after the ghetto was liquidated to Krakow Plaza. I had one brother with me and one sister. And my father and mother was with me this time. But later on, my father was beaten very bad by the Germans, and he moved, and he was transferred. We sent him away to another city, to my sister. He was there, and don't took too long, he passed away. He was beaten very hard.
What year was that?
This was, I think, 1940. And then my mother went back to Krakow with us. He was there. And when the ghetto started, he was standing in a line, 5 people in the white, a long line. And I was standing with my mother and my sister. The men were separated. So they took out my mother, and the second day they killed her.
And
The Germans killed her. Yes, and we was transferred to concentration camp, Krakow Plaza. And there I was working in a clothing factory for the army, making coats. I was doing buttonholes, sewing. And I was there, to 1944. In 1944, I was transferred to Auschwitz. And in Auschwitz, I was in a working camp. This was called a working camp. We had to carry bricks from one place to the other. Carry bricks, 5 bricks like this. And I was there to maybe 5 months, I think to October, and transferred to Libau, to another concentration camp.
And where is that?
This is in Germany. And I was working in a chain factory, putting together chains by a machine. And I was beaten and tortured. During the day we was doing this. And during the day and during the night we was pulling trucks with bricks. 25 women one side and 25 on the other side, like horses on ropes on the arms.
Was your sister still with you at this?
No, my sister was taken to Auschwitz, my brother in 1944. They went straight to the crematorium. And then that's in Plaszow. I was on a bricks carrying. And in Auschwitz the same thing. After we came home from work, from the factory.
So you worked both night and day?
Night and day, yes. And maybe we had rest for an hour. We could sleep. There were so many bugs in the barracks. They eat us alive. I don't know how in English those bugs calling. They were Franzen. Maybe you heard sometime.
It's a bed bug. It's a bed bug. Yeah.
It's a terrible bug. So this was in 1944.
How were you transferred from Krakow to Auschwitz, or from Auschwitz to Leibniz?
From Krakow to Plaszow I was transferred. And then from Plaszow to Auschwitz by wagons. We was packed like ducks in the wagons. Without water, without everything. The heat was terrible, it was so hot. One was laying on the other. This was the way to Auschwitz. And the same way was from Auschwitz to Libau. In Libau, I was working, and I was beaten terrible by the machine because the chains was so heavy, it was hard to put it under the machines.
And how long were you in Libau?
In Libau, I was to the liberation. To May the 5th was the liberation.
And you did the same work
In
the
Libau,
entire time?
In Libau, I did the cat by the chains. I was working during the day. And during the night, I was carrying bricks. In Libau, we was pulling bricks, truck bricks, on ropes. And we was beaten very bad, but some could. Some just were falling down. They fell down, they got killed.
And who liberated your camp?
About the Russians. We would believe that we was liberated. It was a terrible things when we got liberated, because we was looking for somebody.
Because?
Nobody. We had nobody. The Russians liberated, and they were very good to us from the beginning. They were very good. They looked for us for clothing. We got nothing. We was almost naked. When we came to Auschwitz, they took off everything from us. We was naked, stripped to nothing. Men and women were walking around like wild animals. And they took us to a shower. They shaved off our heads. And one don't recognize the other one. Nothing. We were spraying with something that was burning like a fire. Our skin was so red.
This was at Auschwitz.
This was in Auschwitz. The crematoriums were burning. We came there, 500 people. I don't know if it was left 100 from us in Auschwitz. They came right to the station. They segregated, one in this side and one in this side. So nobody knows where somebody's going. 4 crematoriums were burning, and then besides this, in the woods, was piled up and put on gasoline, and people were burning. And I still can smell the smell from the people. It was smelling so terrible. And in Auschwitz, every day was a segregation. There were more people besides us. When I came there was 70,000. My number was 70,774. No, 19,774. So they segregated every day people to the crematorium. There was not one day they shouldn't segregate.
On a day-to-day basis in Auschwitz,
Yeah.
besides the work, what order did things happen in? Like what was a day like?
There was not a good day. Every day was terrible.
Was there a routine that happened on any given day, or did you always know what was going to?
Oh no, nobody knows what's going to happen. It was just from one hour to the other. It wasn't sure we were going to live the second hour. Nobody knows. And we were sleeping on boards. There was like bumping beds, just plain boards, like the size from a double bed. 13 women on one board. We could move. We could turn. When one turned, all of them had to turn.
In Libau, were the conditions any better than in
Libau
Auschwitz?
was a little better, yes. But during the night we had segregations too, and we was beaten. We went out. One Obersturmführer, she was the head from an SS woman. She came in our barracks and she said, everybody should look at the other head. If they find a louse, we're going to get a bread. So some people were so dumb and they were looking for louse, but thank God there was no louse. If there would be one louse, everybody would be killed. We tried to keep ourselves clean. We went to the washrooms, washing with ice. There was winter. There was not heat, nothing. So ice water, we was washing ourselves and keeping clean. And every day washing the clothes what we got. I show it in drying by the oven. We don't have any food. We got a quarter bread a day. It was a little piece bread. And then we had soup from grass. I still can feel the sand knocking in my teeth. It's just plain water and grass and sand. I don't know how we survived. Who survived? It was just a miracle. Nothing else.
Did you know that the Russians were starting to come into Germany? I mean, was this something?
No, we don't know nothing. We were cut off of everything. When the Russians came in, it was a surprise we wouldn't believe. And there was in the camp in Auschwitz 2 men from French. They were very good, but they could help us anything. They were politicians, I don't know, and they were in camp too. So when the Russians came, they came in, the men came in Tarbar, they were not allowed to come in. They came in and said, we're liberated, come on, go out, look for some food. We wouldn't believe. We were afraid to go out. The Liberation Days was a terrible tragic because nobody wanted to live. Nobody. We all was ready to die. Nobody struggled for life. It was so bad. So after the liberation, we had nothing. We don't have any money. We was naked. So the Russians took us to the Germans' houses. They chased out the Germans to pick some clothes and to pick some food. Some people ate so much after the war, they got sick and they died.
At the end of the war, or during liberation, do you know how much you weighed at that time?
50 pounds.
50 pounds, American pounds. Did the Russians then set up the displaced persons camp, or?
No. I went this time back to Poland. No, they don't send any camps. There was a woman, a Gentile woman from Krakow. She was for politician there. She was a doctor. And I don't know, she just fell in love with me. She saved my life. Because in Krakow, she was in a hospital. In a hospital, it was like Krankenstubes. They take people there, and from there they took to the crematorium. So she took me there to help out. She said she can't help herself. Instead of me to send out in the morning to count how many people have to go out, she went out for me, and she was standing in the line. And she told the Germans, I need her. I can help myself there. There's too much to do. She's helping me. She was so good to me. You have any idea.
This is in Krakow?
This was in Plash of Krakow, yes.
Okay, so...
No, in Auschwitz, what I'm talking, in Auschwitz, yes.
Okay. And she knew you from Krakow?
No, she don't know me. She was from Warsaw, Warsaw, you know. But, you know, got to know each other there, and she was very good to me. So she saved my life, because whoever went out, they went out to dig some graves for the Germans. So whoever went out came home very sick or dead. They brought people back. It was terrible.
After the Russians liberated the camp, what happened then?
After they liberated, this woman, the doctor, she took apartment, a house from the Germans. And we moved in. There was 20 of us moved in. The rest, they went away looking for some relatives. There wasn't too many left. I don't remember how many was left of us. So 20 was living with her for a while. And then I went back to Krakow looking for somebody. So in Krakow, I met my husband. He was my brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law?
Yes, we got together, and we was in Krakow for 2 weeks.
What did you find when you came back to Krakow?
Nobody. I find nobody. Empty the place. It was empty where we was living. Then we went back to Liban, and from Liban we started travel. We was in Czechoslovakia. We was in Yugoslavia. We was in lots of places because we was not allowed legal to go out. We was going out on black. We was not legal allowed to go from, like we was on the England zone. So they don't let people out. They won't keep their people. But we was struggle to go on the America zone. So that was the reason why we was traveling. We was traveling with a bunch of kids from kibbutz. They're young boys, 17, 18, 20 years old. They won't take us to Israel. So we was traveling till we got on the America zone. Took us a long time till we got there. So when we came there, we settled there. We was registered there. We was in an America camp. There was good. We enjoyed it there. So we came there in January. I think in December, in January we was registered and we stayed there till we came to the United States.
You stayed where at that time?
This was Sosnowiec.
Which is in?
Polish.
It's
Polish.
in Poland.
Yes, Sosnowiec.
And this is a camp set up?
No, we were staying in a private house. And from there, I mixed in. And then,
Okay.
then we was there in Then we would stay and we started traveling. We traveled. We was in Libya, came to Libya, to the America camp. We were staying there from I don't remember which. From September, I think, to January. No, not from June. From June to September. In September, we was transferred we came to the United States.
This was an American displaced persons
Yes,
camp?
yes.
Okay. In this traveling, when you were going through Czechoslovakia and
Yes.
Yugoslavia, did you feel much anti-Semitism still, or?
We was traveling during the night. We was working during the night. We don't travel. We just on foot. We was going. We came to Hungary and we were stopped. They don't let us go through. So, but finally, something happened to them. They let us go through. The Hungarian was anti-Semitic.
And you were traveling with children at this point?
Kibbutz boys, yes. They took us. And then they split. When we came to the America, so they split. So my husband wanted to go to Israel, but I don't want to go to Israel. So he said, I have to go where you go. So we came to the United States.
What year was that?
1946. September the 16th, we arrived to New York. And we was in New York for 2 weeks. I was sick when I got off the boat.
You lived in New York then at that time?
No, just for 2 weeks. We came to Canton, Ohio. We lived in Canton, Ohio for 33 years.
Did you have family?
In Canton, yes, I had cousins. Yes. I grew up in Plaszow, in Krakow. I grew up in Xaverov, and I was a teenager when we moved to Krakow. In Krakow, I wasn't with so many anti-Semites because I wasn't between the Gentiles too much. I had just Jewish friends, and I was going to school.
Were mainly Jews in your school?
Yes.
The children were all
Yes.
Jewish?
Yes, so it was not too bad. And I had Jewish friends, and I was going on. I had a happy life.
When you did have, if you had business, or if your father had
Yes.
business with the Gentiles?
Yes, my father was going on, but he was between not so bad people, you know. Yes.
The Jews all lived pretty much together?
Together, yes. Yes, there was not like here. Everybody visits everybody. The door was open all the time. People used to come in. It was very friendly. It was a friendly life.
When you first heard, or when your family...
Yes, we heard about the war. We was very upset, but we was hearing what's going on in Germany.
What did you
Everybody.
hear?
They was very bad. They were killing people, taking everything away. And the most people who can't afford to run away. We had friends, German. They ran away. They came in 1928 to the United States because they know what was there. Lots of people ran away.
Did your family talk about leaving when they heard?
Oh, we couldn't afford to leave. We wasn't so rich. So when the war started from Germany, people came to Krakow without clothes, just carrying little packages, nothing else. And the Germans took this away too. When we came to Auschwitz, they took everything away. We had nothing. We could even hide a needle.
When the ghetto was made,
Yeah.
what happened? I mean, when the
When-
Germans came and how did they go about doing this?
Well, the ghetto don't start it right away. This ghetto started from 39 they came. The ghetto started in 42. So we could take clothes. We could take everything what we got.
So from 1939 to 1942,
42.
how did your life change then while the Germans...
Changed a lot because we had to work Zwangsarbeit. You know what Zwangsarbeit is? So
Why don't you, if you could explain.
Zwangsarbeit is they force you to work. They give you work what you could do it, but you have to do it because you was forced to do it. I could clean after paintings. I could climb walls high and doing the walls. This was very hard to do but we had to do it. Everybody did. Try to do a good job. If not a good job, he was beaten.
Did they ration food at that point? I mean,
In the ghetto, yes, we had food rationed in the ghetto. Yes, we had cards. But we had to eat, not too much, but we had. But in the camps, we had nothing, in the concentration camps. People, one son killed a father over a piece of bread. It was so bad.
did your, what kind of religious life did your family lead?
Very
children?
Orthodox.
And how did you continue those observances through the war or
Well,
in the ghetto?
when we was in ghetto, we still observed. But when we were out from ghetto, nothing. We could observe. We don't even know when it's a holiday or what. We was living like animals, without a mind, without everything.
Was there a holiday when you were in the ghetto? Was there one that...
No.
No, you were not.
No, we was not allowed to have holidays. We have to work all the time. It was not a Sunday, not a Saturday, nothing.
When you were transferred to Auschwitz, what was the trip like and how did they get everybody together?
The trip was terrible. They from Plaszow, they took everybody out from the barracks and they were picking up who has to go to Auschwitz and who has to stay there. There were people left over to the end of War II. So I was in the transport to Auschwitz. We went there, we was 500 persons. They packed us all in animal cars. They took us to Auschwitz. We arrived to Auschwitz.
What time of year was this?
What time of the year? This was in 1944.
In the summer or
in
the
summer,
winter?
in summer, yes. And we arrived there, and the Nazis came over, doctors, all kind of things. They started picking people out. So one was going to the other side, and then on the other side, we don't know which side which was going. So they took the other people to the crematorium straight.
How long did the trip take
The trip
to Auschwitz?
took a few hours. was not too far. I don't really know because nobody had the time.
Okay. After this separation, the selection at the camp, what happened to you then?
In camp, you mean?
Right.
In camp, they stripped us, took off all clothes, took us to a shower. One went to a guest shower, one went to a regular shower. I was in the regular shower. So they give us a shower, they shaved us, they sprayed us, they sent us out naked. Then there was a magazine, they had clothes. The people who they are killed, so they picked up some for us. We got a rack to put down, really not turned. They turned. If something was good, they turned in pieces and give us to put down. Then after a few days, they tattooed us. They give like shots with ink. And not everybody who has to be in the booking camp, they had a tattoo. Who had to go to the crematorium, they had nothing. So, but we don't know which is which. But that's what they did. And after a few days, we started working, carry bricks, carry boards. That was the arrival in Auschwitz. This was the whole time we was doing this work. And we was threatened every day. We was beaten, pulled up from the bunk beds. Segregations every day. Nobody knows what the hour was bringing. This was during the night, but during the day, we was out working.
Did you have water and food available in Auschwitz?
No water, no food, nothing. We had nothing. We wasn't allowed to leave the barracks when we were in the barracks. Somebody went out, got killed. So we don't have water in the barracks. And food, there was a kitchen. There was a kitchen there cooked. When came meal time, we have to stand in the line to get something.
And sanitation facilities, was there?
Oh, it was terrible. It was just terrible. There was outside, everything together, men and women together.
Were you sick at all when you were in Auschwitz?
No, I was healthy. I wasn't sick. The men who had the barracks separate, but to go to the bathroom was together.
Did you hear of, when you were in Auschwitz, did you hear of, Dr. Mengele or any of these?
Oh, sure, Dr. Mengele was coming in every day. Yes, I knew Dr. Mengele. I got through him a few times in the segregation. He took my sister, my brother to Auschwitz.
The separations the selections were always done by doctors?
Not all the time by doctors. The SSB, without doctors, did themselves too, lots of times. Then when I went to Libau, was Dr. Mengele there too? He came, I think he was in Gross Rosen. There was crematorium. From Libau, they took people to the crematorium, to the Gross Rosen. There was a few crematoriums.
When you were in Auschwitz, you were telling us that you had a woman who helped you.
This was in Krakow Plaszów. She wasn't in Auschwitz. No, I left her there.
And in Libau, you were there in the winter, or when you were transferred from Auschwitz to Libau?
To Libau was in summer.
Summer also?
Yes, in I think September, October we left. No, Auschwitz was in summer. We was transferred in summer. In June or in July we left Auschwitz. I was there I think 4 or 5 months. Then I went to Libau. And in Libau I met the woman. This was before Auschwitz, Libau, yes. But she don't went to Auschwitz with me.
Libau was before Auschwitz?
Libau, yes. No, after Auschwitz, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. And in Libau, you were there during the winter? You were there for several years?
Yes.
How did conditions change, or how did the weather, affect your
Oh.
conditions?
The winter was very cold. When we was going out to work, I was wearing wooden shoes, like, they used to call Highlander shoes. Maybe you know what kind they are. So when it was snow, the snow was piling up, and I wasn't able to walk because the shoes were so high. I took off the shoes and I was carrying my hand and walking barefoot in the snow to the factory. We had nothing. We was working without coats, with anything. Just the rest for my sick.
Were you ill at all when you were at
No.
Libau?
No, not at all.
What happened when somebody was sick?
Oh, straight to the crematorium. Yeah, they went to the doctor and they were staying in the Krankenstube, like a hospital for a day, and they took them out.
After the war, you were in Deggendorf?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do there?
There we wasn't doing nothing. My husband was working in a kitchen, in a UNRWA kitchen.
And this was a displaced persons camp, or?
Yes, this was a camp. It was good. We had their food and everything.
And this was run by who?
By the America.
By the Americans?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there was good. We had there. Very good. We used to get packages from America. Everybody received a package.
And you were there from when?
In Libau. For May the 5th. I was there a few weeks. And then I went back to Poland.
What year?
This was in 1944. 45.
45.
After the war, yes. I went back to Poland.
And then you went back to Poland?
Yes.
And that's when you went back to Krakow?
Yes.
Okay. And you told us that you met your husband there.
Yes.
Did you know him from before
I
the
know
war?
he was my brother-in-law. He had my older sister, was his wife. It was very sad for me to marry him. But he said he's not going to marry. He's not going to marry me. He's not going to marry. So I decided to marry. He was older than I.
How much older?
11 years.
When you came back to Krakow, was there any Jewish community left at all?
There was a Jewish community. Whoever came had to register, and people came find, looking for each other. So they weren't there. They wasn't on the list, so they know nobody's there.
Okay, so from your family there was
No,
no one
nobody
except your
left.
brother?
No, I knew exactly what happened. But anyway, I cheated myself when I went looking.
When you and your husband came to America, what did you do then? I mean, what?
Well, my husband, after 2 weeks, we was here 2 weeks, he got a job in a bakery. So he was working the bakery for 20 years. Then this bakery closed, so we worked another bakery.
And you have children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
3, 2 girls and a boy. So now I was working at dress shop in Canton, Ohio.
What, the family that was here in America, and when you came, did they know anything, you know, what did they tell you about what they had heard was going on in Europe?
They don't know so much this time. We registered to come to America, so they are from they send a telegram. I give him the names of my uncle. And they send a telegram to if they want us here. So they send back that they accept us. They want us to come. So we went. They send us here because from beginning it was hard to come to America. Later on it was very easy. But we was from the first transport.
How did you come to the United States?
By boat. I was sick on the boat for 9 days.
And how did you feel when you first came to the United States?
Oh, like another world. I could breathe myself.
How many people were on that boat? Was it all refugees?
There was a lot of refugees, yes. We had a very bad trip. We had a detour and it was terrible, it was stormy. Thought we're not going to survive on the ship.
When you came to America, what happened, you know, when you first arrived here?
When we arrived here, we was New York. And my husband had there in New York a cousin from his side. And he had a lot of friends. Everybody came to see us, and everybody wanted us to stay in New York. But my husband said, no, he likes to go to a smaller city. So we came to Canton, Ohio for 2 weeks in New York. When he came, we was 2 weeks here and he started. I was starting to work too because I want to save up some money. I was pregnant 6 months when I came, so to pay the bills. He was very independent. We had a letter from New York from the Jewish organization to go to the Canton Jewish Center, so they should supply us with everything. But my husband came here, he turned up the letter, he said he don't came here to wash snow. So it was a very hard life.
And you live in Columbus, though, now, right?
Now, yes, but I live in Columbus for 8 years.
You and your husband moved here together?
Yes. My husband was here 2 months and passed away.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell us about, perhaps something that you would like to go back to and maybe tell me some more detail on, or a general impression or something that you'd like to tell us?
I just can't remember. In 1944, I was with my sister she was all the time worrying about me. She was so worried about me. What she had to eat, she used to bring me. And I am alive, and she's gone. Q.
You and your sister were together
We was together
until
I
1944.
Yeah. My brother was there, but we was not together. We were seeing each other every day.
You did see your brother sometimes,
Yes,
though?
yeah.
Did he ever tell you anything about how the men were treated, or was it different at all?
Oh, they were treated very bad. They were treated terrible. Every day beaten. In Plaszow, there one time they took out all men from the barracks. They put on a table outside, and each one had to lay down. They used to beat so bad with ice, those weapons. There was like iron weapons. The blood was sprinkling out. Everybody had to watch.
This was at
This was in Krakow.
Krakow.
Yeah.
Were these Germans or Poles?
The Germans.
This was the Germans.
Yes. Some women got beaten too. I don't know what was the reason this time, but I think nothing. There was beautiful girls, so they used to say they don't have a right to live. They took them out and killed them one by one.
Just because they were beautiful?
They were beautiful, yes. So they said, du hast kein Recht zu leben. There was in Plaszow like a hill. They took those people to the hill. They made a big grave. People were taking off their clothes. They were killed one by one and pushing to the grave. It's a mass grave.
Did the Poles ever try and help? I mean, did you ever hear of anybody who escaped from any of these?
Well, I have a friend. She was in a church raised, Bananas. She lives in Kenton, Ohio. She was saved there.
Did people try and escape at all from the...
Yes, if somebody escaped and they cut him, they killed him right on the place. And some Poles just pushed the Jews to the Germans. Not everybody was so good. The most of them were very bad. Like after the war, to the city where my husband came, the people came back because they had properties left, business. So they came back. They went to the people who occupied, to the Gentiles. They killed them. This was after the war. They killed so many people after the war.
Who killed?
The Gentiles, the Poles.
The Poles killed the Jews who came back to try and reclaim their homes?
Yes.
And the government didn't do anything?
No, not a bit.
What city was this?
This was in Krakow.
In Krakow.
So we wasn't staying too long there because of this.
After you left Krakow after the war, this is when you traveled.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Did you find that kind of anti-Semitism in these other places in Czechoslovakia?
No, in Czechoslovakia people were very nice. Hungarian, they were not too nice.
What happened there?
They don't bother, but they were very, very upset to see Jews come back, to see Jews alive.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say about anything that you're thinking about?
Well, when I was separated with my sister, I wouldn't go with her. And I was run after her. So the SS tell a dog to jump on me, but the dogs won't do nothing to me. I don't know. Fangan, they was yelling to the dog, Fangan. The dogs don't even touch me. And I went back. And those dogs turned people on pieces. Oh, they were so wild. I just tell them, Fangan. I tell all the time myself I'm left over to cry over my family. Because they're all gone and I'm alive.
I think that's it. I think that's it. Oh, okay. I want to thank you for coming here and
You're welcome.
telling us your story.
You're welcome.
And
It's very hard for me. And I did a very bad job.
no, you did a wonderful
I
job.
can talk and talk all night and all day, but I just can't. Now it's busting.
Well, thank you for coming.
Welcome.